Hello folks and welcome to part 2 of my series looking at how the current football season should be ended using old versions of Football Manager. If you haven't seen the previous one, in the last video I holidayed FM09 all the way through to the end of the current season to see who should be champions. I won't spoil who was given the champions, I'll just put a link to that video down in the description. There's always going to be a playlist with all of these videos in because over the next couple of weeks I'm going to be going through every previous version of Football Manager that I can lay my hands on to try and fairly decide who should be declared winners of all the competitions, promotions, relegations, all that kind of thing. And today we're doing that with Football Manager 2010. Let's jump into it and have a little look. So this is FM 2010, holidayed into the future. So current date in game should be sometime in July 2020. Yeah, there you go. We've got the date up there. It's my birthday. Past Kev must have done that on purpose. It's the 10th of July 2020 and we're going to have a little explore of the world. And as I found in the last video, I struggled to remember how to get around the world in these previous games. I think this one works pretty similar to the last one. So we're going to go through a similar thing again. We're going to have a look to see who's won all of the major competitions in the countries that we've got loaded. We're going to have a look at the World Cup, the Champions League, that kind of thing. Who got promoted, who got relegated. And at the end of all of these videos, we'll have a definitive idea of who's the Premier League winner, who's the Champions League winner, etc., etc. So I thought Arsenal had won it again, like they did in FM. Oh, spoiled it. There you go. You should watch the videos in order. And they didn't. It was just alphabetical. Manchester United are the champions, according to FM 2010 of this season. So Man United champions. Liverpool very, very close, pushing them very close. But in this version of reality, Man United did pip you at the post, Liverpool. No matter how clear you were at one point, Man United clearly got back in there and pipped you to the title. Tottenham third, Arsenal fourth, Chelsea fifth, Man City down in seventh place. Bristol City, Blackburn up in the Premier League, Bolton back up in the Premier League as well, Sunderland getting relegated along with Cardiff. So that is the Premier League 2020 according to FM 2010, so 10 years ago. We'll have a look at the past winners of the competition as well. If I can figure out, there you go, past winners. So past winners, it looks like this has been, I mean, Arsenal do quite well in Football Manager. That's what we're learning here. So starting from 2010, which is the first one that wasn't confirmed from reality. So we had a Chelsea win, then Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City did win a Premier League in this timeline, but only once. And then 3 in a row for Arsenal and a title for Manchester United. Liverpool runners up 3 years in a row, but they did win a couple of Premier Leagues in there as well. So one could argue that's been a nice little mix between those 4 teams. Possibly a little bit more interesting than it's been in real life when it's been dominated by a couple of teams for most of the last. That's probably not fair. That's not fair. Maybe what, 3, 4, maybe 4, but it's a different 4 because we're going to move on. I'm not going to pretend I know what I'm talking about. Other interesting things to note: Blackburn with a 3rd place finish in the Premier League in 2013 as well. So I'm sure Blackburn having a lovely time in this continuity. Let's move down through the divisions in England, starting in the Coca-Cola Championship, which has been won by Newcastle, also promoted Derby and Hartlepool, with Watford, Coventry and Ipswich also making it into the playoffs. Wolves down in the Championship in this timeline, as are Leicester, Norwich. Huddersfield, Swindon and Wigan getting relegated, along with a 10-point deduction from Wigan, presumably for some kind of, probably for going into administration. And looking at that, if they hadn't have gone into administration, Stockport would have got relegated instead of Wigan. As it is, Stockport staying in the Championship, which I'm sure any Stockport fans watching will be quite happy with that. Again, if we look at the past winners, just to see who's been going up from the Championship. We'll just leave it up there for a second so you can have a quick look rather than going through it all in huge detail. And then if we go back to, there you go, I'm learning my way around again. If we hit that, do we go to League One? We do. So League One, promoted from League One this season, Fulham. So Fulham fans, congratulations. You've just been promoted to the Championship in this timeline. Cheltenham and Millwall, the other teams, getting promoted. Relegations for Barnsley, Posh, going down to League Two, Rotherham and Rochdale. There doesn't seem to be any, I guess I was going to say no Premier League teams in here, but we've got Bournemouth and Brighton both knocking around in League One in this reality. Again, past winners. Give me past winners. Let's have a little look to see who are Leeds winning it in. Leeds were Leeds down in League One then? Is that right? That doesn't feel right, but I guess they must have been. And they got relegated again and won it again then. Norwich, Fulham, Birmingham, some big teams winning promotion from League One over the years there. And then if we go down to League Two, promoted this season Scunthorpe, Northampton, Bury, a much better reality than the one you currently find yourselves in. A promotion from League Two, Macclesfield getting promoted as well, and Kidderminster and Dagenham and Redbridge. So 3 teams relegated. Oh, it's a classic. And again, no huge surprise. Barrow being there is a bit of a surprise. Rushden still existing, bit of a surprise as well. Let's look at the past winners again, see if we can spot any huge anomalies down at this level. Brighton getting promoted from League Two back in 2014. Bournemouth in 2017. Posh in 2018. What were we doing in League Two in 2018? What nonsense is this? And then down to the Blue Square Premier. This is where we are keeping our eyes out for big teams. So Crewe and Wrexham getting promoted this season. St Albans up in the playoffs. Lovely stuff. One of my former non-league to legend teams. Lincoln still down in the non-league, where in my mind they'll always belong. Who else have we got? Histon still up at this level is an interesting thing as a relatively local team to me as well. Grimsby, Hayes and Yedding, Darlington and Alfreton getting relegated. Morecambe with a points deduction. But it's a points deduction that hasn't really cost them anything, I don't think. I can't even see Morecambe. There they are, 17th place. Would have been slightly higher in mid-table if not for that. And then let's drop down to the Blue Square North as well. I've gone back a year too far. So Blue Square North, Burton winning the Blue Square North. That's, they're a league club in reality, aren't they? So that's a bit of a surprise seeing them down here. Bradford Park Avenue getting promoted to the conference as well. Any major surprises in the rest there? I don't think so. Nuneaton narrowly avoiding relegation. Awesome stuff. Accrington, Northwich and Altrincham getting relegated. And then one more division down. So to the National League South. And it's Wimbledon getting promoted as champions. Again, would expect them to be a little bit further on in the game at this point than winning the Blue Square South. But win it they have, getting promoted along with Bishop Stortford. And then no major surprises in there. Kingstonian, Thurrock and Bath getting relegated. Dartford getting a 10 points deduction. 10 points to be deducted from Bath at the end of the season if the team is not automatically relegated. I don't understand that one. They have been relegated. Bath looking like they're not having a very nice time. Noticing a lot more of these 10-point deductions than we get these days in FM20. We don't seem to get them very much anymore, but they were quite commonplace back then. Right, let's go through some of the other countries as well. So if we head first to France, we can see Marseille, French champions, Paris Saint-Germain down in 5th place. Looking at the past winners of Ligue 1, it is a period of Marseille dominance, it seems. So we have the Bordeaux years, Lyon getting one there. Le Havre, is that? Or is that a different team? I'm surprised to see them winning it, regardless. But then it's just been Marseille dominance, slightly interrupted by Saint-Etienne. But Lyon getting involved as well. But no league titles for Paris Saint-Germain since 1994. No even top 3 finishes for Paris Saint-Germain. Presumably no oil money. So they... yeah, it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same team, is it? Really? Let's move on to another country. Germany. We have as German champions Bayern Munich. Have we got a period of Bayern dominance? Why can't I find the history button in Germany? Past winners in Germany. It's been largely Bayern, but with a little bit of Wolfsburg thrown into the mix. Schalke, Stuttgart. So a little bit of a mixture, noticeable by their absence there at Dortmund, not winning Bundesliga since 2002. They did have a 2nd place in 2014 and a 3rd in 2018, but not really in the mix, are they, Dortmund there? Italy, go to Serie A, and we have as current champions Genoa. Now, that has got to be a bit of a shock. What has gone on there for them? They've got Neymar. Wow. So... Neymar went to Genoa from CSKA Moscow. That's a different career path for him, isn't it? Is this the same Neymar? Is this like the Neymar? Only played 19 times for Brazil. It must be. He's a striker. Would Neymar be 28? Is he 28 in real life? Is that the same guy? It is a different career path, but he has led Genoa to glory in Serie A. So clearly, if you are playing FM 2010, he's your guy to pick up from Santos. I can't believe he went to CSKA Moscow and then stayed there for so long. Wowzers. Is there anyone else there that I would recognise as a reason for them being... No, it's basically Neymar went there and won it for them. I assume that's what's happened. Let's have a look at the past winners here in Serie A. Juventus, I mean, Genoa, they've done all right, haven't they? They've won Serie A 4 times in 6 years. Juventus, Lazio getting involved a little bit as well. Napoli as well. But what caused this other than Neymar? Or is it just Neymar? Do we have like a tycoon takeover or something? Why has that happened? How good are they in real life? I feel like they're a team you don't hear a lot about, or I don't hear a lot about, as someone who doesn't really follow Italian football. They kind of emerged from nowhere. Like, not even from nowhere. It was recently, as early as 2012 even. They were runners up to Juventus. Just clearly good management. Who's their manager? How do we look at managers? Managers? Does it show managers on here? I don't know how to use FM 2010 anymore. It's been a long time. How do I even find out who their manager is? I don't even know. Staff. There. Manager is Gianpiero Gasparini, who has been there since... How do we find out how long he's been there since? You know what? I give up. Oh, no, there you go. We just had to scroll up. So he's been there. Oh, he's the manager in real life, is he? So he's just... Or was the manager in real life in 2010. And he's clearly just a very good manager. And has done his own little road to glory with them. Good work, Gianpiero Gasparini. Let's move on. Scotland. Scotland is... Current holders are Celtic, beating Rangers to second place. And if we look at past winners, it has been the Celtic show. Rangers not winning since 2009. Does that mean, because I'm not fully up to date with when Rangers went out of business, it can't be that because they were runners up lots. So it's not even the fact that Rangers went down to the 4th division and had to work their way back up like in reality. Celtic have just dominated with Rangers just being there, watching on. Hearts getting their 1 victory in there. But other than that, it has been the Celtic show with Rangers just watching. And then if we go to Spain to see what's gone on there, Spain champion Sevilla. Kev must be there in this timeline. It's like FM 19 all over again. Let's have a look at the past winners. So Sevilla, Valencia, Barcelona, Valencia, lots of Real Madrid in there. Well, I never. Did Messi stay? This is what we looked for yesterday. Messi is still there. And there he is, 33 years old. Today he's earning £205,000 a week. So there's your jump from FM 09 to FM 10. His pay has gone up like 70 grand between the 2 games for the same year. Still hasn't been the dominant player we know from reality. He's just, the highest he ever got to was 17 goals. 94 caps for Argentina. Not quite the same, is it? Now, in this timeline, did Ronaldo go to Real Madrid? Yes, there he is. He went to Real Madrid. I made a fool of myself in the FM 09 video, not realising he hadn't left Man United yet. That's been a bit more like what you'd expect from Ronaldo. That's a bit more of a Ronaldo career. And he is still at Real Madrid, aged 35 in this timeline. But obviously not quite the same player anymore, it seems. Right, let's have a look at some of the other tournaments. So if we start with the Champions League winners... most recently, a Valencia-Sevilla final. Imagine that. Be like having a Liverpool-Tottenham final in the Champions League. It just wouldn't happen, would it? The amount of people in the comments go, Kev, do you not realise that? No, I had no idea. It was just off the cuff. So previous Champions League winners, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Chelsea, Arsenal, Chelsea, Arsenal, Juventus, and then Valencia. So Arsenal always seem to do quite well in these old versions of FM. Chelsea are going to be pretty happy with 4 Champions League wins in these 10 years as well. No Barcelona in there at all. No Liverpool, no German teams at all. What happened to Germany? Wolfsburg with a runners-up spot then, but it's really just been England, Spain, and then Juventus, which I guess that's not a fully inaccurate representation of reality. Let's have a look at the Europa League. So Europa League, we have as current holders Real Madrid beating Manchester City in the final. That looks more like a Champions League final to me. How is that your Europa League final? More of a mix here. So Real Madrid, Schalke, Ajax, Marseille, Napoli, Inter, Juventus, Villarreal, Sevilla and Bayern as a nice little mix there in the Europa League. World Cup winners, most recently 2018, Spain beating Italy in the final. And if we go to past winners, we've had 3 World Cups. So England winning the World Cup in 2010. Wonderful stuff. And then France and Spain. What's the current England squad look like? Alex Smithies. Of course, Alex Smithies is in goal. Micah Richards still in the England team as well. 94 England caps for Micah Richards, still playing at the end of the current season. Ryan Shawcross in England. Jack Rodwell, 80 caps for England for a 29-year-old Jack Rodwell, who's now playing for Lazio. That's pretty much exactly how his actual career turned out, I've heard. Wayne Rooney still playing for England, 132 caps later. He's still at Manchester United in this world. Josh McEachran, I remember when he was your big wonder kid at Chelsea, and it looks like this was the year because he went and did good stuff afterwards. Jack Wilshere, 43 England caps, still at Arsenal. Daniel Sturridge, 61 caps. Who's he playing for? Where does it even say who he's playing for? Why can't I see a club? Is he out? Is Daniel Sturridge available on a free, or is he still at Chelsea, or has he been released? It doesn't say. Can I sign Daniel? I'm not managing in this world, but he's a current England striker who got 10 goals from 11 starts for Chelsea last season, and it appears that they've released him. So they've gone with Sam Vokes instead. Fair enough, Chelsea. Peter Cech's still there in goal for them, with Gareth Bale as well. Had he gone to Tottenham in this world? Yeah, so Tottenham, then Valencia, then Chelsea. What an interesting... I could spend hours just fiddling with this. Let's have a look at the Euros as well. How do we get to the Euros? It's in there, isn't it? So European Championship. Current holders are Portugal. So if we just go straight to past winners, so Portugal, France and Spain. England runners up. We've just looked at the England squad. We don't need to look at that again. What we do need to look at, though, is try and find the Ballon d'Or. We don't want World Cup best player. We want world. Although that is interesting, seeing who the best player. Wayne Rooney, World Cup best player in 2010. We want like the player of the year. We found it yesterday. Is it going to be in there? There it is. So World Footballer of the Year, Messi winning it many, many years in a row. Then Ronaldo, Aguero, Benzema, Messi. Is that a regen? It is. Alberto Avila is the current best player in the world. Can we go back and see who the runners-up were each year? Yeah, we can. So getting an idea of who your top threes were each year, seeing if there's anyone on there you wouldn't expect to see. It all looks about right based on what I know about Football Manager over the last 10 years. I keep seeing him thinking, you what? Is that right? That doesn't feel right that he's there constantly, but everyone else seems about right, doesn't it? Looks like they had this database pretty well sorted. Aguero went from Atletico Madrid to Barcelona, never went to Manchester City. That's why they didn't win anything, probably. Well, there we have it. That is the world, today's world, according to FM 2010. So what's that now? If we're thinking Premier League, a vote for Arsenal from yesterday, a vote for Manchester United from today. Liverpool, you've got to hope some of these upcoming games do you a favour. Otherwise, when all is said and done, I think we've all agreed that the results of this experiment are going to be binding when the time comes. So we will be back within a day or two with FM 11. I would expect the holiday to take a little bit less each day as I have to holiday less time. But we'll move on to FM 11 next and see what that does for us. Let me know down in the comments if you've got any predictions for who who each version of the game is going to decide is the dominant team and the dominant players, because we all know certain games have their certain really good teams. It might not have been how it worked out in real life. But we will wrap this video up here. If you've enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Share it around to all and sundry. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.